What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday to you. We're going to jump straight into the news because the Green Bay Packers are not letting us wade into this week at all. They made a signing this morning, and I'm going to break it down right here on the Packers Report because Taylor Elgersma, the quarterback from Canada, was a Canadian Heisman winner, is now a Green Bay Packer. Tom Pelissero is the one who broke the news this morning, tweeting out, former Wilfrid Laurier Golden Hawks. You know, we all know about the Wilfrid Laurier Golden Hawks right here on the Packers Report. Taylor Elgersma signed with the Packers today per his agent, Craig Schaeffer. Elgersma, who won Canada's version of the Heisman last year, tried out at Green Bay's rookie camp over the weekend, now pen to paper. And we actually talked about him last week. We're going to talk about him on today's show. It's obvious he made a lasting impression, and now he is a Green Bay Packer moving forward. Before we break down anything about Taylor, talk about the quarterback room going into 2025, I got to bring some light to the sub-battle that we've got going on in May. We currently have kind of let the lead slip away from us. We're up going into the weekend, and now we are down to Vikings now by 12 subscribers. But we got a long way through May. I need you guys to help me out and hit that subscribe button. We bring you daily content on the Green Bay Packers better than anybody else right here on YouTube. So let's lock this thing in. Try to beat the Vikings. Help me out by hitting the subscribe button. So if you watched later last week, I did a rookie minicamp winners and losers segment, and there you'll find Taylor Elgersma at the bottom of the list. I thought he was a massive winner because for a guy who came in for a tryout, there was a lot of coverage on him. A lot of people were talking about him. Matt LaFleur had something to say we'll show about later. Andy Herman tweeted this out saying Elgersma's arm is in fact live. Can't confirm. Wouldn't be surprised if it liked him enough to be the number 4 quarterback in camp. He's set to have another tryout with the Bills next week and was just taken in the CFL draft 18th overall by Winnipeg. Now, I think Green Bay liked him enough and told him that they liked him enough that he didn't even end up going to the Buffalo Bills tryout. Because I think Green Bay made it pretty obvious from the jump. They were really intrigued with him, and they found a spot and wanted to find a spot for him on their roster. Matt LaFleur was asked about the quarterback after practice. He had this to say. We had him in on a 30 visit, so we got an opportunity to sit down with him. Another guy that loves football, and then just watching him throw an hour ago, he's got a live arm. There's that live arm again. So there's a lot to like about him. If you looked at what he did in 2024, it was pretty phenomenal. I mean, just absolute stat stuffer, 73.8% completion percentage, over 4,200 yards in 13 games played. 35 times he found pay dirt. Now, he did throw 11 interceptions, but hey, don't we all from time to time? What I really, really like about this move to me is it seems like it's a low-risk, high-reward play. Right? They're not going to sign him for that much money, but I think from what they've seen from him in practice, what they've seen of his arm, what they've seen of his football ability, he's got the size to go with it as well. Green Bay's thinking, you know what? Might as well sign him as a UDFA at this point, a little bit later than the original UDFAs were signed. It's not very often you see a quarterback go into a tryout and really, really blow people away, and that's exactly what Taylor was able to do in his tryout. And so they're saying, you know what? Let's give this guy a shot, get him back here in training camp, see if he can maybe even compete to earn himself a roster spot and be that possibly quarterback 3, quarterback 4 on this roster. I need you guys to do one thing for me, though. Get in the comment section down below and grade the signing of Elgersma. It is finals week, ladies and gentlemen. My little sister just wrapped up her finals. My other little sister-in-law, she's wrapping up her finals this week. So let's play like we're students. Let's play like we're teachers. Grade the signing for me in the comment section down below by giving me an A, B, C, D, or F. The one thing I noticed about Elgersma, and the one thing I really, really like about him is he's got a little bit of Favre to his game, okay? He's a gunslinger. He's not afraid to take some shots that might end up getting him in trouble. You saw the 11 interceptions in 2024 last season, but you also saw the 35 touchdowns to go with that. If that's not a Brett Favre stat line, then I don't know what is. He likes to take risks because a lot of times they pay off, and when they don't, frankly, he doesn't care. He's got a short memory, and he's going to try it again the next play because he believes he's got the talent to make those sort of plays. And when you look at the QB room right now, obviously Jordan Love's in that 1 spot. Obviously Malik Willis is in that 2 spot, but you see Sean Clifford there at quarterback 3. And everything you've heard from Taylor Elgersma kind of leads me to believe that there's maybe a shot that he can make this a little bit of a competition between Sean Clifford. Like, I don't think it's ridiculous to believe that this guy can come in here and compete for the QB3 spot on that roster. It seems to me like that's a legit possibility. Now, if you're talking about can he complete for QB2, that seems like a little bit of a stretch, but competing with Sean Clifford, I don't know that that's going to be that difficult to do. You look at what he was able to do or not able to do last year in the preseason, 51.2% completion percentage, 207 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Let's just call those pedestrian numbers, okay? And I hate to be the one to say this, and because Sean Clifford's a better quarterback than I ever would be, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to call that what it is right now. But Clifford's not good. Okay? Let's call a spade a spade. Sean Clifford is not going to be a good NFL quarterback. Sean Clifford wasn't a good NFL quarterback in the 3 preseason games he played last year. And in those 3 games, he's playing against guys who half of them don't even make a roster. And he was able to only complete 51% of his passes. Threw for only 207 yards. And I get it, right? He's also playing with guys on his team, with wide receivers, with running backs, with offensive linemen who don't make rosters either. But still, at the same time and in the same breath, to not believe that Taylor Elgersma, a guy who impressed them so much in a tryout, could come in here and compete with Sean Clifford kind of seems a little, I don't want to say ridiculous to me because that's a little bit dramatic, but like, I think it can happen. Okay? I would not be surprised if it happened. Let me just put it that way for you. I'm going to talk about those 2, okay? I'm going to give you the option to pick one. Who would you rather be the QB3 on this roster? Is it Sean Clifford or is it the newly signed Canadian Heisman winner, Canadian Brett Favre, whatever you want to call him? If it's Sean Clifford, go ahead and give me an SC in the comment section down below. But if it's Elgersma, go ahead and type your TEs. I got a couple of questions for you guys. Okay, let's just play the hypothetical game. What if Elgersma comes in there in training camp, because now he's signed to the roster, so he will be in training camp. What if he blows coaches away during camp? Right? What if he comes in there and possibly does so well that they feel like he might be able to compete for a QB2 spot? Now, I don't see any of that happening because of what Malik Willis was able to do last year, but if it does, it also begs the question, if that's the case, would you trade Malik Willis? Interesting to think about, interesting to ponder, because if this guy comes in here and he's able to do in training camp what he was able to do in rookie minicamp, and maybe even give Malik Willis a run for his money, because let's be honest, Malik Willis, he's a good quarterback, but everybody kind of knows he doesn't have this unbelievable gunslinger rocket launcher of an arm, okay? Now, he was able to come in 2024, and he was a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful game manager. He won you some games that you probably didn't think you were going to win going in there with Malik Willis and without Jordan Love. He was able to do that. Complete 74% of his passes, throw for 550 yards, throw for 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He was magnificent last year in the roles that you asked him to do. He was a savior in 2024. But think of this. What if there's a quarterback-needy team that offers you something really good for him? Say a quarterback-needy team goes to training camp and they leave training camp and they say, you know what? None of these guys on this roster, none of these guys are going to get it done. You know who we already saw get it done last year? That was Malik Willis. If you feel good about Elgersma and somebody offers you a really, really good little draft pick for Malik Willis, I think I would do it. Now, that's all hypothetical. Again, this is all if Taylor Elgersma comes into training camp and absolutely blows people away. For all that I know, he could come into training camp and throw an interception every single time he has the football in his hands. We don't know how it's going to go. From what we've seen during rookie minicamp, I think we can assume he's got a little bit of juice to him. We're going to have to wait and see what happens. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. We got you up to date on everything Green Bay Packers from now to the rest of eternity. So lock us in right now by hitting that subscribe button.